Okay, before I go on to this video, first of all, I'd like to thank Terry Barney for allowing me to be an instructor for this class. It really means a lot to me, Terry, that you have the confidence in me to teach a class for the Bushclass. So I really appreciate it, brother, and thank you very much. Okay, this class, guys, is going to be on another primitive way to start fire, and that's with flint, steel, and char cloth. This is another method of fire starting that's been around for a long time, since probably early man as well. It's not a friction fire. It's using three components. You have a piece of flint, a good carbon steel striker, and that black material in there is a piece of char cloth. This method isn't probably as long as Native Americans with friction fire, bow drill, and hand drill, but it was a very common practice and means to start fire way back in the day. Don't ask me when it started. Probably flint and steel has been around for a real long time. The use of char cloth, there is some debate as far as how old that method is and when it was first started. Big Sky Trapper on Bushcraft USA, I believe he narrowed it down to the 1800s when char cloth was first introduced, and thank goodness it was, because this is a really cool way of starting fire, and it's my preferred way of starting fires. So before we can just use the flint and steel, what we're going to have to do first is make char cloth, what you see in there. So hold on one sec, I'll be right with you, and we'll make some char cloth. Okay, here's my method of doing it. There's been, I've seen other guys using bigger tins and stuff like this, bigger mint tins or bigger Altoid tins, what have you. I like to keep my system, the way I do it, just down to two smaller tins. One, if I can open this one hand here, this is what I call my cooker. You can see it's already gray, kind of charred from use, and this is where I keep my cloth to be charred. In this case, it's little squares of denim from an old pair of blue jeans. In the other container, I will have already made char cloth. So I carry these two tins in my tinder pouch, and so I have a cooker loaded with the means to make char cloth and a smaller container with char cloth already made. So let's make some char cloth. Okay, in my tin that I call the cooker, you can see there's a small hole that I punched out right on the top of that can. And the method to making char cloth is you got your little cooker tin. Again, doesn't really matter what size you use. You just want to make sure that the material inside your cooker is cotton. Can't be polyester or poly blend or anything like that. It's got to be 100% cotton. So denim works real good. Monk cloth I hear is real good, although I've never tried that myself. An old GI cravat in a pinch can be cut up and cooked. You can also use canvas from an old duffel bag or shelter half or anything like that. Canvas works real good too. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our cooker with our hole in it, and we're going to put it in the coals, and it's going to start smoking. Once it stops smoking, then we know that our char is done. So we'll just stick that right in there, and then we have to wait patiently for it to start smoking and then stop smoking. So we'll be right with you. Okay, I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but that tin is starting to smoke out of that hole. So we keep watching that until it stops smoking, then we know our char cloth is done. One thing I need to caution you guys on, that these can flame up, so if you see a flame coming out of that hole, remove it from your heat source and allow it to cool down a little bit, and then stick it back in the coals. And once it has stopped smoking, you're going to want this to cool down some before you open it up, or it will combust. Okay, stop smoking, and it's cooled down, and there you see some real nice pieces of char cloth. Nice black in color, and that's what you're looking for. You can see a little residue on the top of the can from where it was cooking. Alright, so on to the next step. So for the class, so far you're going to need a flint, some steel, and a means to cook and then cook char cloth. We'll be right back with the next step. Alright gang, here is the next step. Let me get this camera situated right. See if I can do this so the camera picks it up. The way you start your char cloth is you want to put the edge, one edge of the char cloth against the edge of your flint. Then taking your striker kind of hard to do it this way with the camera, so what I'm going to do, now that you guys got an idea how to do that, right? Put the edge of the char cloth next to the edge of the flint and then strike down. What you're trying to do is catch a spark off this flint to land on top of the char cloth, and then you can blow it to flame. So let me get this situated again and I'll be right back with you. Okay, hopefully you guys can see this okay. So I'm going to strike the flint, the steel to the flint, get a little spark on a char cloth, put it into a bird's nest, and blow it to flame, okay? There you go. Alright, so for the lesson, what you're going to need to do is get yourself a piece of flint, striker of some sort. You're going to have to make char cloth, demonstrate making char cloth. Once your char cloth is made, then you are going to need to use your flint and steel with the char cloth, get an ember on it, put it into a tinder bundle, and blow it to flame. Have fun with this. It takes a little bit getting used to. You may have to, learning just how to strike that and to get those sparks to jump. But just play around with it and you'll get it. So thanks again, Terry, for letting me teach this class, and we'll see you guys later. Bye.